Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto and welcome to this new video here on the crypto markets. We'll talk a little bit about the price action of today, but we will focus on the expectations for the next 24 hours. Going into the next week, all right, the week opening is always one of the most entertaining days of the entire week, but also one of the most volatile and one of the most difficult days to trade. Right, so I wanted to briefly talk about all the possibilities here. What do I expect? What should you be prepared of, etc. So that's what we'll do in this video. But we need to start with the price action of today. Now, the price action today has been relatively as expected. I mean, I already told you on Saturday morning that for Bitcoin specifically, it looked like we were de-risking, right? So you saw open interest slowly creep down right here, which has continued over the majority of today for one exception right here at 10 a.m. in my time zone. We'll talk about it a little bit later and what that means. But so far, we've dropped down to our main support level right here at the 7-day rolling VWAP at 95,400. And that's also the most important level. There you can see an imbalance with the fair value gap. That purple zone, those are single prints, so basically also an imbalance, so that creates a double imbalance, and that's where we have found support so far. However, the question is, well, can we actually bounce up from here, right? Because even though we have found strong support, we have not gotten any single bullish reclaim yet. Right, there's an imbalance to the upside right here at 95,800, and what we would, for example, like to see, if this would be a bottom, which we are trying to figure out, is something like this, right? So that you reclaim above that and that we hold that as support. Then we have a bit of certainty that this is at least a local bottom, and then we can start to talk about a potential move into 96,400 again, and potentially back up to 97,000. So that is essentially today, and at this point of time, talking about Bitcoin specifically, which I wanted to talk about some news as well. I wanted to start with that, but I forgot. But talking about Bitcoin specifically, that is what we want to see. And if we're unable to reclaim 95,700, then I still think we have a wildcard level down here at 94,950, right? So just below 95,000. There on the 1 hour time frame, we have the 200 EMA in confluence with the POC. And what happens sometimes, and I've explained this before, but what happens sometimes is that if you have a range where the price moves in between, with a range high, range middle, and then the POC somewhere, which is the point of control, sometimes what happens when the price breaks out is that it retraces back to that POC of the previous range, and from there bounces back up, right? So that is still a wildcard support level, but then we need to get a very, very strong touch from that level, and I'm not sure if we'll be able to do that, all right? Because fundamentally, getting to the news, this de-risking has been because of two main reasons in my eyes, and that's first of all just because it's the weekend and it's the start of a new month. But then second of all, on Wednesday, we also have the FOMC meeting. We have the interest rate decision, which is not going to be that exciting, but the press conference afterwards will be at least important. Exciting, who knows? We don't know what they're going to say. But important, yes. All right, so therefore, and what we've seen historically is that you also see a bit of de-risking ahead of that. So if that continues, I'm not sure if we'll be able to get a strong touch from 95,000, right? So we'll have to see. We'll have to monitor Bitcoin, see if we can actually get that bullish reclaim here. If not, see if we can get a strong reaction at 94,950. If not, right, so if we reject like this and we're unable to get a strong reaction there and we respect 95,500 as resistance, it's most likely we will drop down all the way to the bottom of this range right here at 94,200. Be aware of that, all right? Those are all the scenarios, and given the uncertainty of a week opening, it's very hard to give you my prediction, what I think is most likely. If I would have to give you my gun to my head, I have to tell you what I think is most likely. I would say that somewhere in this zone, we will be able to find enough support to reclaim a level here and to get some stability slightly higher, all right? But those are my thoughts on Bitcoin. Talking about some altcoins here, wanted to talk about XRP and then just some random altcoins, but interesting altcoins, I'd say. XRP, very stable. I made a video this morning on the recent news that we got yesterday, which I think is quite crucial, or at least quite important. But XRP very stable, right? So I think XRP, especially unless we get a very, very sharp pull down in the markets, I think XRP will be able to hold support right here and remain stable. And if we get a very sharp pullback, then maybe we'll drop down to 2.05. But at this point of time, that doesn't look to be most likely. Now talking about some other altcoins, there's a couple of coins I wanted to talk about that actually have some volume. And that are quite interesting. The first one is Inisha, so that's init, all right, so INIT. Hit the bottom of this range right here, strong support level at 68 cents. Is gaining some volume, so right, so this potentially could go for a continuation into the main resistance level at 82-84 cents. I thought that was quite interesting. Virtuals also has a lot of volume still, so this is just and it's at a very strong key level here around 1.75. So this is kind of both a long and short opportunity, depending on which way we're going to break, but definitely a coin that's going to be very volatile next week and therefore interesting. And then Hedera also at a very crucial level right here at 18 cents, 17.5 cents. We have to hold this. If not, it's a good short opportunity. If we are able to hold this, then we can easily rally back into 19.3 and 20 cents, and it's a good long opportunity. But again, I expect some decent moves from this as well in the next couple of days. So those are my thoughts for now. There's obviously a lot of other altcoins as well that are getting ready to do some moves. I'll try to keep you updated on that in new videos on X as well. But for now, I think this is what you need to know. So thank you for watching. I'll see you on my next videos, and bye.